I don't.
My gosh. Becca Becca completely changed her setup. We It only took her an extra 30 minutes to figure it out. So who knows if this is actually coming through. Um, and also, I had a terrible day today.
Do tell.
It was just like work was one of those days where it's just like everything went wrong and everybody needed something and I didn't have time for anything. I started off the day by dropping a pan on my face, specifically my lip.
How did
So I thought,
you? How do you drop it on your face?
well, the idiots put things on top shelves that shouldn't be on top shelves, and so I was pulling one of the shelves down, and it just decided to slip all the way out and hit me right in my lip. I was worried that I was gonna crack my tooth or something because it did hit me right here. And
You
I was like,
didn't
great.
even snap me about it.
I was like, I'm gonna have a fat lip, I'm gonna have a broken tooth. That ended up being fine. And then um I just didn't get anything done. I was there like 3 extra hours and then everybody wanted something and I I I am somebody that's like if you're nice to me, like I will be nice to you, like customer wise. Like if you treat me, like an actual human being, then I will definitely do things for you or whatever. But if you come up to me and you like have a bad attitude and then you're like, "Hey, can you do this for me right now?" I'm at the point where I'm just like, "No. No." I have never said no to people at work until like very recently where I'm very much like, "No, I cannot do that for you right now, actually." So sorry. The amount of people, this has become a big work rant. The amount of people, so as I've mentioned before, I work at a bakery in a grocery store. And grocery store, lowest level of cake you can get, okay? The usually the product is lower quality, the ingredients are lower quality, but because everything is so mass produced, you can get things quicker and you have more stuff on hand usually. Anyways, so but like it's still I still have to decorate the cake. I can't just like whip out anything you want right then and there. And the amount of people who have come up to me and are like, "Can I get this like now? Or can I get this like I'll be like walking out the door and they're like, "I need this for later today or I need this for early tomorrow morning." And I'm like, "No. No, 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 no,
Do you
no.
say it just like that? We're like, oh
No."
my gosh, I need a cake for tomorrow, 4 a.m. in the morning. Can you do that for me? And you're like, no.
No, I wish I could say it like that, but I would definitely get in trouble. Like the other day, last Saturday, I was going to a concert after work and I needed to leave on time because I was driving an hour and a half to meet my friend at her house to pick her up to then go to this concert. And I needed, it was like kind of an earlier concert and I would like timed it perfectly. I was like, if I leave on time. I will get to her house right when she needs it to be, and then we can like it would be perfect. I was like, this is the one day I need to leave on time. And so like the whole day it was very easy, very chill. And then about an hour before I was supposed to leave, a lady comes in to pick up her cake. I had gone to the bathroom. So then when I came back from the bathroom, the lady was standing in front of the counter talking with the bakery manager and like looking at the cake. So I like walk past them and come back into the bakery. And where I do the cakes is like looking out right in front of where they're at. So I'm s- I'm standing there and she's talking to the bakery manager and they're like talking back and forth a little bit. She's like looking at the cake. She does not look happy. Mind you, it was a Minecraft cake. I have done this cake. This is probably one of the most ordered cakes. I have done this cake again and again and again, okay? And sometimes they're like, "Oh, I don't have this color. Let me swap it out for." No, I had everything I needed. It looked exactly like it should have. And she's like talking to the bakery manager, and the bakery manager looks at me, he's like, because he doesn't know anything about cakes. And I go, sorry, what was the problem? And she goes, oh, because there's green bit for the grass, and then there's a blue bit for the sky, and we have like an air gun, a spray gun. So like you spray the colors. But the problem is like the spray gun, it's not the highest quality spray gun in the world. So like it's not like super clean fine lines. They bleed into it a little bit into each other a little bit, okay? So she was mad that it wasn't clean line for blue and clean line for green, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, what's the problem?" She goes, "Like you faded the colors into each other," and I explained the problem, that that's how the spray gun works, and then also she ordered like the lightest icing. So I was like, "Also with your icing that you picked, if I in order to get like cleaner lines, you have to get closer to the frosting." Because the air is spraying out of the spray gun, and you have the lightest frosting, it will literally spray the frosting away, and then it will make divots in your cake. And she was like, not having it. She was pissed. She did not like it, and she was like, she goes, "You need to like tell people that it's not going to look exactly like what they think it's going to look like." And I was like, I literally just said, for sure. For sure.
Did you do this is for sure. I will
For
do
sure.
that.
Because at this point, like, what are you supposed to say to that? If somebody said that to you, what would you say?
I'd say, ma'am, you paid $19 for this cake.
I was like, for sure, yeah. And just like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I was just like, for sure, definitely. Then she like angrily took the cake and walked away. Mind you, I can own up and be like, yeah, that cake wasn't the greatest. This cake, it was good. Okay? This one I did what I needed to do. And then the bakery manager walks back around and he was like, I thought it looked really good. And I was like, so anyway, that was the start. That was like an hour before I left. And then I was like finishing up like a million cupcakes, and I was like, okay, I am rushing through this, but I think I will get out. I think I timed it perfectly, and I'll finish the cupcakes right when I'm supposed to leave, and then I'll leave and it'll be perfect. We'll make it to the concert. It'll be a great night. So I'm like rushing through these cupcakes to get everything done. 10 minutes before I'm supposed to leave. 10. Four different people came up and wanted things either immediately. Oh, also, here's the other bit. I wasn't going to be there the next day. So, whatever cake orders for the next day, I had to do that day, which there was one. This was a Saturday. I wasn't going to be there Sunday. So, there was one for Sunday that I had already done. Somebody comes up to me and they're like, oh, I want this cake. I had versions
Is that
of
what
that
all
cake.
your customers sound like?
Yes, I had versions of that cake in my cake case, but they didn't like exactly how they looked. They wanted me to do one for them right then and there. And I was like, luckily, it was the one frosting I still had out. And I said, you know what? Yes, I can do this for you really quick. It'll just take me a couple minutes. Give me 1 second. So I quickly did that cake, brought it out to them. As I brought it out to them, somebody else came up and was like, it's like chatting me up, and it's like normally love those people, amazing, but I was trying to get out of there. And he's like chatting me up, and he's like, I need to do a cake. And I was like, okay, when do you need it for? And he was like, tomorrow morning. And I was like, here's let me show you exactly how I say it. I said, so unfortunately, we're not able to take any more cake orders for tomorrow. Um, uh, yeah, I basically said that. And he was like,
When
oh,
you talk about that, do you do the like customer service thing where you talk about yourself in the third person? We're like, no, our baker is not there tomorrow, and like,
oh, um, no, because I'm the only cake decorator at the
yeah,
store, so
that's why you'd be like, our baker.
yeah.
Tomorrow's baker won't be there.
Well, because the problem is if there's two of us, like if one of us won't be there, like they'll be like, well, what can't? So I said, I'm the only cake decorator and I won't be here tomorrow, so unfortunately I can't take this order. And he was like, oh, we just like bake the cake today and then somebody else can decorate tomorrow? And I was like, no. I'm the only decorator, like it won't. He was like, "Oh, okay." Luckily, this man was super nice about it, and I helped him pick out a cake that was already out there, and I just like wrote on it, and I added some quick little flowers to the top, and he seemed fine with it. Okay, I'm like, amazing. I'm literally running back and forth in the bakery to try to like get my dishes, clean my table, get out of here. I'm like grabbing the dishes to leave. At this point, I'm 10 minutes past when I'm supposed to leave, and I'm like, it's okay, I can still make it. It's gonna be good. Somebody else comes up to the table and they're like flipping through the book to like that has examples of cakes. And I'm like, do you guys, because if I'm taking if somebody wants to order a cake, I'd rather order it so I can make sure everything's good because we have a lot of new people in the bakery and they don't really know everything that's supposed to be in the cake, so then sometimes I have to fix it. Anyways, so I'm like, do you guys need to order a cake? He's like, yeah. And so he's like flipping through the book, and I was like, okay, let me know if you have any questions or when you're ready or whatever. Flipping through, and I'm like ready to leave. And he goes, okay, I think we're good. He's like, do you have the Cocomelon can? I was like, let me check. So I run back in the back. I'm like, yes, we do. I get out the paper, it's taking his. I'm like, when do you need this? And he goes, tomorrow morning. And I was like, fortunately, unfortunately, I cannot. I was like, said the same thing that I said to the other guy, and he was like, I was like, there's another store down the street that is our same brand, and I was like, maybe you could check with them. They might be able to do it for you. And then he was like, didn't want to order from the other store, which is fine, whatever. But then he like was like all mad that like I couldn't do it, and I was like, ma'am, I can help you find one that I have out right now. But unfortunately, cannot do one for you tomorrow morning. I was losing my mind at this point. So it was like thing after thing after thing. I don't know why I brought this up. Oh yeah, because I was having the worst day of my life. So then today it was kind of the same situation. People kept coming up and wanting things right then and there, and I'm like, I have already pressed on time to do the things that I actually need to get done today. And now everybody else needs something as well, and I can't handle it right now. I just got smacked in the face by a metal pan, and also like oh, I can't. It wasn't even the customers. It was some other people working at the store who came up to me with attitude, and I said, mm-mm, "Not today. You treat me with attitude for the workers, at least. I can't have attitude towards the customers. If the other employees come up to me with attitude, they're getting attitude back. I'm not. I'm not today. No, absolutely not today. Rant over. Rant done. And we're calm again. We're calm. Anyways, um,
So how'd your day go?
I was like, oh, ooh. I punched a couple boxes in the freezer. Not gonna lie.
So funny. They, I really hope that they have like marks. They've got little dents in them.
It was empty boxes that I just like threw
That's
around
like
in the freezer. I
you
know.
keep them there just to throw them around.
I didn't want to damage any product or anything, but I worry sometimes because if I'm gonna like freak out about something, I usually will go in the freezer, freak out about something. And I wonder sometimes when I'm doing that, I'm like, I wonder if people can hear this outside the freezer.
We have at my work we have a walk-in freezer. This we have had several employees who don't work here before who it's not like if the door closes, I don't know if you're stuck, but like no one has ever been in it with the door closed, to my
What
knowledge.
what does the back of the door look like? Is there like a little knob?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Most most commercial walk-in freezers and
It's
stuff have a knob.
smaller than a walk-in freezer, but I don't know. I've never been in with the door closed, but
You should try. We should try it one time.
I'm kind of free. I'm not excited for that.
Okay.
But like multiple employees will there we had a lady who worked with us who was kind of awful. She would like leave work. Like she would just leave. Like we'd be working and we're like, "Oh, where did so and so go?" Like we're bit like she's only there when we're busy. So we're like, "Where did
Hmm.
so and so go? We need her for this this and this." And they're like, "I can't find her." And they're like, "I can't find her." And someone pulls up like they have like Snapchat and she's like, "She's at the Walmart." Like she just said her car's not here anymore, and, or like she'll
Oh.
get up and like, I'm like, what are you doing? Anyway, the point is, she likes to just sit in the freezer with the door slightly open, uh, while we're supposed to be working, and so we're doing stuff, and I'll open the door and she'll just be in there, like, like she'll just be. It doesn't look like she's doing anything, but she'll just be like,
I well, this has just become a work episode, but
That's fine with me."
I am the only one in direct line of sight from the freezer. So there are times when people have to go in the freezer and get pull a bunch of stuff. So they're in the freezer for a long time, and if you shut the door all the way, it turns the lights off. So you have to keep the door open. But like they'll just leave the freezer door open and all the freezer air is coming directly at me. So I've started to like go over and shut the door completely without like locking it. So it's all the way shut, but like the light is still on inside every single time somebody's in the freezer because I can't take it anymore. My feet, I cannot feel my feet. And nobody else understands because they're not directly in front of the freezer. Okay, I feel like we need to move on.
This is a good, what is it called? Not like complaining session. There's a better word for that.
We're ranting.
It's just like slumber party material.
The worst slumber party ever. Oh, okay. Actually, we're talking about Thunderbolts today. The Thunderbolts. Last time I brought up Thunderbolts, you had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know now. I
Hmm?
actually did not. Okay, here's what I know about it now. Well, actually, I forgot her name. The one actress whose name I always forget. Florence
Florence
Pugh.
Pugh.
She's in it. It came out last Friday. That's what I know about it. More than I did last time. Probably less than what you told me about it last time, but that's what I know.
Okay, but so you've seen some things about it.
This is
You're
my.
aware of it.
I'm aware of it.
Have you seen the trailer
I have
since it was?
not. I
No?
did not. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, well, so okay, so based off are you haven't seen any trailer for it?
None.
That's crazy to me. This is crazy to me.
What do you mean?
Because I've seen it everywhere.
I didn't seek out the trailer. And then
Yeah, neither did I.
also, well, our feeds are different. We've
I
discussed
know,
this.
but like, okay, anyway.
Where have you seen the trailer? Where has it just
Everywhere.
forcefully been put upon you?
YouTube, Instagram, uh, other movies. Uh, yeah. Where else would you see it? A trailer? Face, Facebook?
I didn't. I'm not on any of those things. Like,
Yourself? Well, you're on Instagram,
I'm on Instagram.
YouTube,
I use YouTube for
other
school.
movies.
I in the theater, you will not catch me there.
You're so right.
This time of year, no, none of the good movies.
Okay, well, Thunderbolts. I went into Thunderbolts with low expectations. When the first trailer came out, I said, I don't know about this. I said, trailers looked good, but however, Marvel, and really just cinema in general now, is very notorious for having incredible trailers, and the movies are absolute crap.
A testament to the guys who make the trailer, though.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure the last movie that came out, Marvel movie that came out before this was Captain America. I don't even know what it's called. The new
Brave New World.
Brave New World. Didn't even bother to go see that because I saw the trailer. From the trailer, I even was like, no, no.
That's how you know it's bad.
I knew the moment I heard Red Hulk was gonna be in it, I said, no, absolutely not. Not gonna waste my time. And guess what? It was terrible. Didn't need to see it to tell you that it was terrible. So,
Are we in agreement?
we're in
That's
agreement.
crazy. We haven't even
Never seen
started
it.
the episode.
We've never seen it and we know it's terrible. So, I didn't have high expectations for Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is for before I watched it, I was like, this is a movie about the misfits left from the Avengers and like they're the outcasts, whatever. Because it has Bucky, Yelena, Ghost, uh uh the like the like knockoff Captain America and Taskmaster and and Red Guardian. And those are the people who I was like, okay. So like
I don't
they're
even
like
know who half those guys are. Like I know them by name, but like if you were like, what movie do they appear in, or where,
okay, well,
who plays them? No idea.
Yelena and Red Guardian are Black Widow.
I seen that movie. The Free?
Red Guardian is their dad,
Oh, did not know he was
David Harbour.
doing anything other than being a dad.
Yeah, he's a super soldier, but
Interesting.
he's like the Soviet version. Yelena.
Yeah, sister.
Ghost is from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, did not see that.
You've never seen that?
Never seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. Never seen
Oh,
Quantumania.
okay. Ghost is from Ant-Man and the Wasp. She was the bad guy in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she can uh like walk through walls
Yeah,
and stuff. She
I know the character of Ghost.
okay.
I don't know.
Taskmaster also from Black Widow.
Yeah, yeah,
Bucky Barnes.
I'm aware.
And then the knockoff Captain America, is his name Wyatt. No, that's his real life name. Uh
I'm the new Captain America. What's your superhero name? Wyatt. That's
no,
good.
it's um oh man, what is it? It's it, his real life name is Wyatt Russell. They call him, if you look it up, it says U.S. agent, but he has an I can't remember the name in that
Sergeant
actual movie.
America,
Yeah, knockoff Captain America. He is he was in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier
which
show.
I also did not see.
Because so what it was Captain America went away after Endgame and they oh okay. Also an important person in this movie is Valentina De Fontaine. She is somebody who works, she's kind of like a shield type character who she's not like a superhero, but she's like in charge of people and she like wants to manage all the superheroes and stuff. So like when in the TV shows, like she was like, I'm gonna be the new Nick Fury and like run the show basically. So she's also in this movie and she was a big part of getting the knockoff Captain America thing. But knockoff Captain America, he like killed a guy in public in the street and so he like people were like get this guy out of here. So like all these people are not the main stars. They're whatever. And then we have Lewis Pullman's character. He's just a guy. Question mark?
Just a guy?
He's no, he's a sentry. But like you don't find that out until a little bit into the movie. Um okay, so are we good with the cast? I think that's all
I'm
the important
good.
people.
Are you seeing the reflection of my glasses right now at all?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like,
I was wondering what you were looking up.
I'm not looking up anything. I told you before we started recording, and I was like, stuff just keeps opening. Stuff just keeps opening, and I'm worried it's gonna crash. And I'm trying to turn it off, and it's just opening more. It's just like
Okay, well, if
so.
we lose you at some point, I'm just gonna keep talking.
Okay, I
All
would
right.
like to be here though.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So, Thunderbolts. The trailers made it look like it was very funny, action-packed, which we've talked about how
I
things
was
cannot be full action and full
worried about
humor.
that.
They need to be one or the other with a little sprinkle of, they can be full action, sprinkle of humor, or full humor, sprinkle of action.
I
But they
do
shouldn't try to be
think
both.
though, I keep interrupting you. The entirely funny movies in Marvel, I tend to dislike. Like I'm like, what is the one that's entirely funny that I like? I don't even know.
Well, top two that came to my mind were Ragnarok and Guardians 1.
Yeah. Guardians one I liked. I
Did you like
like
Ragnarok?
no,
Oh,
did not.
unpopular opinion.
When it came out, I thought that people didn't like it as much, and then I found out that people actually did very like it. It was just me. I
Yeah, that's considered to be one of people's favorites.
didn't like it. I've
Interesting.
seen it many times
Hmm.
just because it gets played, but I didn't like it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, um, so I was like unsure about this. Okay. There will be spoilers in this, just so everybody's aware. Um, I don't think whatever I say, if you hear it and then go see the movie will be ruined. I think you're gonna be fine. Because there's no like big twists, there's no like whatever. You kind of get the gist from what you see in the trailer. What you see is what basically what you get in this movie. So, the beginning of the movie, all of these characters are broken. They're sad, they're alone. Bucky is now works he's a in Congress. Bucky works in Congress
Okay, I missed a lot. The last I seen Bucky, he was on like a farm.
in
That
like
was
Black Panther.
yeah, in like Black Panther, in like Infinity War, he was on a farm.
So this is the first we've seen Bucky in Congress, just to let you know. He's like
Is he
yeah.
still? Did he like get a more regular looking arm, or is he just like bionic in Congress?
It's the black and gold one from I think it's Black Panther when he gets that one. You've seen that one?
I'd seen Black Panther. I don't
It's
recall.
black. It's
Okay,
black.
fine, whatever. I believe you.
Hmm. It's now a nanotech. Is it nanotech? It's a Stark creation black arm. Okay? They're all broken. They're all in the individual places. Um, I will say Yelena is like the main character, which I was expecting it to be like equal playing field, but really it's like Yelena is the main character of this movie. Um, so you were like introduced again to other characters, they're all broken. Yelena gets a call from Valentina, Valentine de Fontaine, this lady, and she's like, because she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I like, not loving life, whatever. And so she's like, just do this one last job for me and then we can figure something out for you. And she's like, okay. She's like, I need you to go to this facility.
That
Someone's
never
breaking.
works. That oh, you don't like it? Just do one more, and then you'll be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fine. Never
Hmm.
works.
Yeah. So she's like, this last job, and then we can reevaluate. And she's like, okay, somebody's breaking into this facility that has all of our like secret information. I need you to go there and take her out so that it's all good. She's like, perfect, easy enough. So she comes, the person that is her target is Ghost. So she comes, guess who she finds at the vault? Knock off Captain America. And
Oh
Captain America,
no.
I know, Captain America is like taking out Yelena and she's like, what are you even doing here? You're not my target. And he's like, well, you're my target. And they're like, what? So then Ghost shows up and she's like, "Huh, my target." So she tries to go get Ghost. Then guess who also shows up? Taskmaster. Taskmaster shows up and surprise, surprise, they're all each other's target. Valentina sent them all there so they would take each other out and she wouldn't have to worry about them anymore. She's trying to clean it up because she wants to look good for Congress and so that she doesn't get impeached. Well, spoiler alert, Taskmaster dies. I think Ghosts, somebody kills Taskmaster. I think it's Ghost. And so I was like, oh, She dies pretty fast immediately. I guess she's not an important part in this movie.
But like if you're trying to get rid of a handful of people and you all set them on each other, don't send them all to the same place.
Well,
You want them to domino and then have
let me
one
tell
left
you
over.
why. Let me tell you why she did that. Lock the doors. They're shut inside this one room all together. Okay? And then they're like, is it is it getting hot in here? Oh, during the fighting scene, Bob pops up out of nowhere and they're like, where did you come from? And he's like, I don't even know how I got here.
Bob?
And Bob, the sentry.
Oh,
Yeah, Bob. He's like, I don't even know how I got here. I don't even know. He's like, I'm just a guy. And they're like, this is weird. Okay. And because he like doesn't remember anything. And they don't know that he's a sentry. They just think he's a guy who just happened to be in this one room. So they're all fighting. They realize and they're like, oh my gosh, Valentina sent us here. We should get rid of Valentina because she wanted to get rid of all of us. So they're like thinking, they're like plotting this down. They're like, is it getting warm in here today? And they're like, oh my gosh, this room is an incinerator. She locked us in this room to incinerate us and all the evidence all at once and just clean it all up. So they got to figure a way to get out of there, and then they get out of the building, and then some stuff happens. They get out of the building.
are there a lot of buildings that you can turn into incinerators, or did she like like somebody? Okay, never mind.
Hey, this is Marvel. Anything. You can get anything built. There's unlimited funds in Marvel movies. For these people, they're rich as can be, apparently. So, uh, they get out of the building, but there's like Valentina has showed up at this point because she's like, oh my gosh, they figured it out. They're all working together. I need to come assess the situation. On Valentina's way to the building, her assistant is like, there's some random guy in the vault. And she's like, what? How did this random guy get in the vault? So then they figure out that Bob was part of a medical study that they did to like test the sentry serum or whatever, and he was the only one that survived, and they like totally forgot about him. And there,
They just forgot about him.
well, there was like this box that he was in the room, and then it got knocked over in the fights, so then he was out, and they were just like, oh, I guess he's survived. I don't know. So they were like, Valentina was like, we cannot lose him. Like, I need him because like our sentry. Basically, they wanted the sentry to be what Iron Man wanted, like the like a oh, what did he call it? Like a suit of armor around the world to like protect everybody. She wanted the sentries to be that, but like this all-powerful, like godlike person that was more powerful than anybody to like make an army to like be the new protectors. Okay, that was her original idea with the sentries. So she's like, we cannot lose him. She's like, we need to get up there and make sure that like nothing happens to him. And he doesn't know what's going on. And so she was like, don't shoot, like, don't set him off or anything. So what happens is the Thunderbolts group, the Misfits, whatever, they're exiting. They find a way out. They steal a truck and they're like trying to drive off the property. They get stopped and they're like getting questioned. And so Bob jumps out the back of the truck to like distract the people so that, his buddies can get away. And they're like, and then they like shoot him down. And Valentina is like, so he like falls to the ground. And the Thunderbolts guys are like, we have to go. Like, that's why like we have to go. So they start driving away. Bob gets back up. He gets back up and he's like, I'm like super powerful.
I feel like he would have said exactly that. That's a Marvel
Um,
movie?
and then he's like starts floating and he's like, what is happening? And then he like shoots up into the air and then he like passes out up in the air or something and he falls back to the ground and it like hits the ground, makes a crater and everything's crazy and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta go get him." So they go get him. The Thunderbolts are like, "What the freak Bob just like flew up in the air." And then So they're like, oh my gosh, we gotta get out of here. So then they're like walking off in the middle of nowhere. Valentina has gotten Bob. And then Red Guardian drives up and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I came to come find you guys." Like, we're so good. We're like a team. So then it's Ghost, Yelena, Red Guardian, knock off Captain America driving away. And then they see the armored trucks pull up behind them and they're like, "Shoot. We we can't get away, whatever." And then coolest scene in the whole movie. Coolest scene in the whole movie. Bucky drives up on his motorcycle. Okay? Let me tell you why this is the best scene in the whole movie.
I
We
feel
are
like
back to,
I've already heard Bucky drives up on a motorcycle.
yeah,
Already.
yeah. But let me tell you what, it's like Winter Soldier Bucky vibes. Oh, ooh. And he pulls some Winter Soldier Bucky type moves with his motorcycle. Old school Bucky moves. That is the best. That is mm, that's the best part in the whole movie, you guys. And then we get some like funny, witty lines from the people, the Thunderbolts or whatever. This movie is like witty bits throughout. I think it is an action movie with witty sprinkled in, which means it's not over the top cheesy. That's what was my main worry about this movie. It's not over the top cheesy. It's good. It's like good, funny. Like I laughed out loud, which I don't do. I don't do that. But I laughed out loud. I was like, did a couple chuckles, okay? Old school Bucky comes and saves them. He thinks they're like, oh my gosh, we're saved. No, Bucky captures them because, as we remember, he's working in Congress, and he's on the opposing side from Valentina. They're both in Congress type situations. And Bucky's like, I gotta take you guys in so you can testify against Valentina. And they're like, no, we have to go rescue Bob because Valentina's crazy. And he's like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And earlier on in the movie, he met Valentina's assistant, and he's like, "You should come work for me and like testify on Valentina." And she was like, "I don't know about that." But so Bucky's captured these guys, and he's like, "I'm gonna take you in. You gotta testify." And they're like, "No, we gotta go save Bob." While they're like hashing it out, the assistant calls Bucky, and she's like, "Valentina is crazy. I need you to come save me and Bob." And he's like, Bob, you say? Hmm. These people were just talking about Bob. Okay, okay. We'll come get you. So then he takes the Misfits, the Thunderbolts, and he goes to like rescue Valentina. Guess where they go, Becca? Guess where they go? What building are they at?
Stark Tower.
Yes. Sark Tower. I was like,
That's where
oh
everything ends
shoot.
up.
Oh shoot. This movie is sprinkled with some things that like if you're not familiar with the Marvel universe, you might not get everything. Um like they did make a mention to the president being Red Hulk, but like just because like have you need prior knowledge for the MCU to see this movie. But anyway, they show up to Stark Tower. I'm like, oh shoot, they're back home, Stark Tower. Anyway, so they're like, all right, we're gonna take down Valentina. We're gonna save Bob. So they get up to the top, and Valentina's like, you're too late. Bob's on my side now. He's my sentry, and it's so she's like, Bob, take him down. Bob takes them down one by one. He's so mega strong. He's OP. Nobody can get him. Okay? So the Thunderbolts are like, we gotta get out of here. Bob just kicked all of our butts. So they walk out the building and they like kind of have a fight and they're like, I can't believe we just got our butts kicked, and they like all separate a little bit. Yelena's having a moment, and so her dad like tries to go comfort her, and they're like, what? So they're like anyways, while they're outside like separating and they're like, I guess the band is broken up. Bob is upstairs and Valentina is like, yes, Bob, you did it. So great. Now we gotta go do this. And he's like, why do I have to listen to you? And Valentina's like, well, I'm in charge and you gotta do whatever I say. And he was like, no, I don't. So he starts to like beat up Valentina. And then the assistant, they had like a kill switch for the sentries. And so she like activates the kill switch. So you're like, shoot, Bob is dead. I cannot believe this. And they're like, oh, okay. So Valentina and the assistant get away. Cut, cut to everybody's down on the street and everybody's looking up. And so Yelena and the Red Guardian are like, what's everybody looking at? Bob in the sky, completely black, darkness. They're like, what? Bob? Which from the trailers, this is seen in the trailer. I thought it was just some like shadow trickery. No. He's a completely black shadow sentry guy. Okay? Spooky, spooky, scary skeletons. So Bob is like, what's there? Everything's darkness. I'm gonna. So like darkness starts to spread over the whole city, and then he like points at somebody, and they turn into a shadow. Points at another person, shadow. And at this point, my jaw was going, what? This is crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Yelena, who's like, I'm friends with Bob. She's like, I gotta help my friend. So she like walks towards Shadow Man Bob, and she's like, Bob, Bob, like I'm your friend or whatever. Walks into the shadow, disappears. And the Thunderbolts are like, this is crazy. And they like hide from the shadow so they don't also turn into a shadow. And Red Guardian's like, oh my gosh, Yelena's dead. No, Yelena's dead. Yelena in the shadow. So I can neither confirm nor deny if this is the truth, but this was my understanding of it. In the shadow bits, it's like so Bob is like has some mental issues and he wasn't in the great place when he joined the Sentry program, the like trial or whatever. So just like how the super serum magnified Captain America to be like an even better super moral person, it magnified Bob's mental health issues. And he's like super insecure and everything is darkness and not great. So in while Yelena's in the shadow, she's like going through like her worst memories and like regretful things in her past life. This part of the movie really reminded me of Multiverse of Madness, how they have those like weird like I don't know how to describe it. Like you know what I'm talking about though?
I feel like I
Like
do.
like trickery magic type illusion stuff. Because she would like fall through a mirror and then land in a different thing, and then like people would grab her through the walls, and like it was very trippy, spooky magic. Enjoyed that bit. So she's like, and then she like finds Bob in these memories, okay? And then the Thunderbolts, surprise, surprise, they come to save the day. They also enter the dream world. They meet up and they like save Yelena and Bob, and they're like, we got to get out of here. So they decipher that in order to get out of the darkness, they must confront Bob's worst part of him, which is like the dark Shadow Man Sentry. And he starts like, beating him up, and he's like, like, and the Sentry's like, you're never good enough, nobody likes you. And then all the Thunderbird, you just lost your fedora.
I took it off. I kept
Oh,
looking at it. So
the Thunderbolts are like hugging Bob and they're like, no, we love you and you matter to us. This part, this part, it fits with the story. However, it felt to me like that, like sappy, like you matter and everybody has a purpose, like type thing. It did fit with the story and it worked with like the shadow void, but like it still felt a tinge on the sappy side, you know what I'm saying?
Anna is hates all things love.
Yeah, no, I love love. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was just like it was just because if I'm
Friendship
watching
is
something,
magic.
if I'm watching something and that is the vibe, like a very sappy or whatever, I'm like, ugh, no, not for me. But I didn't feel that. It just like It just was like, because it worked within the whole story. They're broken from the beginning, so you have that theme the whole time. If you go through the story of the Thunderbolts are just kicking butt and they're like, hey, we're a new team, and then they throw in the you matter and everybody loves you, then it becomes a little like, would you didn't why did you add that? We don't need that. It doesn't work. But this worked throughout the theme of the whole movie. Okay. So take that into account. But like
Noted.
but also I did notice it, if that makes sense.
It wasn't perfect, but it was there.
This is not a perfect movie, but okay. Anyways. So, and then they like Bob, they destroy the Shadow Man sentry and Bob is back to normal. However, he's like can't remember everything. He like temporary amnesia or whatever. And then the Thunderbolts like come back together, work everybody, save the city, and then they see Valentina and they're like, let's get her. So they're like running after Valentina and she like runs through this curtain and then all the Thunderbolts follow her through that curtain and then surprise, surprise, it's a press conference. Valentina tricked them and she like gets up on the stool and she's like, everybody, the new Avengers. And they're like, yay, we're the new Avengers. Which my first thought when I heard that was, is Bucky not already an Avenger?
Isn't he been discounted Avenger since at the very least Endgame?
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe he never considered himself a full Avenger because like he was with Hydra and then like he's been in the Avengers for a minute. But anyway. Oh, also side note with the Sentry, didn't like the costume. They like dyed his hair to like match the gold suit. No. No. Anyways, had to throw that in there. Also, Bucky's hair. We love long hair Bucky, but it was just like maybe a smidgen too long or a smidgen unstyled. Like it was just almost, it was on the verge of being Lord Farquaad. It's just straight. Anyways, they're the new Avengers, and they're like, "Yay, new Avengers!"
Okay.
And
This I
oh,
feel like is a you surprise press conference. Now you're whatever I say you are. I feel like that happens. It's not an unheard of thing. If I was somebody who got tricked into being in a press conference, I would literally turn around and walk back out. You're not tricking me into doing nothing. I'm gonna turn back
well,
around.
to turn it back on Valentina, Yelena walked up to Valentina and said, "We own you now. Like we are the face of the Avengers, so we kind of we tell you what's up." Basically, to put it back in her face. So, and that is the end of the movie. Yay, we have the new Avengers! Amazing. Two post-credit scenes. Are you ready? Usually, oh my gosh, I just remembered. This goes back to having the worst day ever. I also burned my thumb. I
On
just
what?
uh, on a hot pan that I was made dinner on. Anyways, I just remembered because I touched it and it started to hurt. Worst day of my life. Okay, anyways. So, post-credit scene number one. It's the Thunderbolts hanging out in Stark Tower and they're like, "Oh, so and so did the copyright for Avengers, so now we can't have it." Which I like because it was the very beginning of the post-credit scene. I was not fully paying attention until like it came up. I think they said Sam Wilson, which is Falcon, new Captain America, who like trademarked the word Avengers, and so now they can't be the Avengers because he trademarked it. And they're like, "Well, we've been the Avengers." This is a year. This is a year later after this press conference. They're like, "Well, we've been acting like the Avengers," so they're like talking about the new Avengers, and then they're talking about like Bob at this point. He remembers what happens, but he's not like the Sentry again because he's like, if I'm the Sentry, then like the darkness will come back. So I'm not, I'm just Bob. And they're like, okay. So they're hanging out and they're like, well, what are we gonna do? Whatever, talking about the Avengers logo. And then, which they're in Avengers like like suits.
Like the white suit or like
No, it's a completely new one. It even has like a new Avengers logo. And so then they're like, and we have this like outer space threat, and then they cut to the uh TV, that's the word I'm looking
oh,
for,
the TV. The
TV or whatever. They cut to a screen and they're like, something's coming in, like they're noticing something in this atmosphere coming in. Guess what? Can you guess? I bet you won't guess. Is it
uh
spoilers?
those shapeshifter guys.
Nope. It's a ship and there's a logo on the ship. What do you think that is?
The logo on the ship
Coming from
is
space. Mind you, mind you, this movie is leading up to Doomsday.
who's in space. I'm just gonna guess the Fantastic Four.
The
What
Fantastic
are they doing in
Four!
space?
It's just their spaceship coming in. I don't
I
know.
guess I guess they started off in space. They've
Who
always
knows when
been
Doomsday is
they've
taking
always
place and
been
what has
in
happened?
space.
Who
That's
knows?
like
Who
that's
knows?
like their backstory was space.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the movie. Leads me into thoughts for Doomsday because all of the Thunderbolts uh are in the Doomsday cast. Even Bob. So, um, so what gives? What's gonna happen? Obviously, we knew the Fantastic Four were gonna be it and Thunderbolts were gonna be it, but like Bob isn't part of the Thunderbolts, so I wonder what his role will be in Doomsday. Will Shadow Man Sentry come back? I don't know. Will the Fantastic Four interact with the Thunderbolts, or was this just their introduction to the Doomsday? Whatever is Doomsday now happening in real time if Fantastic Four are coming in, or will none of this matter and they won't connect it and won't explain it?
Always a possibility.
It's a
You
possibility. It's
never
a
know what's
possibility.
going on.
I know. Doomsday. Well, also speaking of Fantastic Four, I don't have high hopes for that movie at all. No high hopes. Lower
I
hopes than I had for Thunderbolts.
same.
I don't think it's going to be good. I think it looks like it's got a lot going on. I don't like the fact that um it's like it's like they already have their superpowers. So it's not like the original Fantastic Four how they like go to space and
Oh,
get their
so
superpowers.
what are they doing in space?
Exactly. What are they doing? They're in this like weird like we're a family and family matters most. And the Invisible Woman and Pedro Pascal are having a kid in this movie, and it feels like there's a Silver Surfer, but there's also like some bad robot. It's a lot going on, and I'm not convinced. People are like, "Oh my gosh, it looks so good." I'm like, "Does it? Does it look so good? Did it look as good as Brave New World did?" That's how I feel. But hey, this isn't a Fantastic Four episode. This is a Thunderbolts episode.
I think
So
this is a complaining about work episode.
this is just a ranting episode about anything I can think of, actually. Thunderbolts? I was pleasantly surprised. I would watch it again. I probably would have given it an 8.5 out of 10, but then the ending threw in a little bit of sappiness, so just a little bit. So it has an 8 out of 10 for me. 8
That's
out of
pretty.
10,
That's pretty high.
that's a pretty good
I,
score.
I might. I might have to watch this.
Yeah, I think you should, actually. I'll watch it again with you. Which, Brave New World, terrible. The one before that, Marvel-wise, I think, am I right to say that it was Wolverine? Deadpool and Wolverine?
Uh, wasn't there? I think it might have been. I
Shall we
thought there
look it
was
up?
one. I thought there was one before that was kind of like a side one, like a Miss Marvel-esque side movie.
Marvel movies that, oh well, they had Craven, that was a flop. Um, Madam Web came out before, right?
Yeah.
So Madam Web flop. Deadpool Wolverine, amazing. Craven, flop. Brave New World, flop. Thunderbolts, amazing. So we can't say Marvel is back. We can't because there's been too many flops.
I
You can't
wasn't
have
going to.
you can't have a good one right after a flop and say Marvel is back. You need like good one after good one after good one. So if Fantastic Four turns out to be a good one and Doomsday turns out to be a good one, we might be able to say Marvel's back, maybe. Just maybe.
Are those
And you don't have any
different?
flops in between.
Okay.
You were saying?
I was not saying anything. I
Oh, you
was,
were just saying okay. Okay.
yep.
So yeah, 8 out of 10. It's gotten really good reviews, as it should, because it was good. And I think you should watch this one. I think you'll enjoy the witty bits. I think you'll be pleased with the action, and I think it'll be the best Marvel movie you've seen in a really long time.
I'm excited.
What else is there to say? I'm excited for Doomsday. I honestly cannot wait for that to come out. And if it's not good, like what is the point?
Then
You know?
then we have to start making movies.
Yeah. If Doomsday is terrible, Becca and I will write a script for something. So, all right. I'm gonna rant it out. Anything else to add before I
I have not
sign off here?
ranted a bit. I
Uh,
have something to rant on. The computer has stopped weighing out.
Oh, perfect.
I really was afraid it was gonna crash and then this would stop and we'd have to redo it. But
I'm glad you've
for,
been here the whole time.
for the
So,
moment, we're all good.
amazing. Mhm. All right.
I
Well, oh,
I think it would have been really funny for an episode because I know you re-listen to these. That if I, although I didn't much talk at much anyway, if I get cut out and then you're just keep talking to yourself, you record it, you send it back, and you're just listening to it by yourself 3 weeks later.
hey, there's been many a time I've been listening to our own podcast at work and I'm like giggling to myself because of what you and I are saying. Hilarious. Oh, what I love the most is when we play games, and by the time the episode comes out, I have forgotten everything, so I get to play the game again.
Hannah postponing all the games so she gives enough time to forget.
Literally, literally.
Do you get them right? Are you the same scoring?
I don't always get them right. So funny.
So
We're
funny.
hilarious. We're hilarious.
I'm glad one of us thinks so.
All right. All right, let's leave.
No, okay, okay. I didn't mean to say so.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.